All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another installment of the Jawbreaker podcast. My name's Adam. This is Roman. We are associated with the Sports Mark Analysts. And today we're going to be doing a recap past weekend, UFC 247. Start off with, controversy. Huge part of this. Controversy, judging. But before we get to that, so as most people know by now, John Jones did retain his light heavyweight title, getting a decision against Dominic Reyes, getting two judges' scores of 48-47, and one judge gave him a 49-46. Pretty crazy. What'd you think of the fight? First, before we get to any judge, what'd you think of how the fight went down, and who'd you think got the win?
All right. Well, it's funny that I originally picked John Jones by decision. I said this fight was going to go to decision, and I thought John Jones was going to win. But part of me did think that Reyes has a chance. And Reyes came out in that fight and did everything he said he was going to do. He was going to pressure him, attack him, and keep going. I mean, except the fourth and fifth round, he did get tired. Jones controlled most of that, pretty much of the remainder of the fight. But rounds 1, 2, 3, I had it Reyes. I scored a 3-2 Reyes, 48-47. The third round was close, but it just seemed, while I'm watching the fight, I thought to myself, wow, this is too good to be true. I think Jones might be losing this fight. And when they announced the decision, when they said 49-46, I thought that's definitely Dominic Reyes. There's no way you could give that to John Jones. And when they said John Jones, I automatically thought, is the fix in? What's going on? What fight was that guy watching to give 4 rounds to 1 to John Jones? That does not make any sense.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it's a robbery, but that one judge that scored 49-46, that's a robbery score right there. And this is where you have to decide, do you want to have live scoring where it's announced to the crowd and to the fighters so they know? But at the same time, I do think if you're going to announce the round, like let's say the third round, Reyes thought he won that round, and then the judges scored to Jones, would that affect him going forward? Would that mess with his mind? Would the fighter change their game plan and then try to attack more? Like, if you announce the scores, and we're thinking Dominic Reyes is winning, and then you keep announcing the scores. All right, round 1 was Reyes, round 2 was Jones, round 3 is Jones. Would that affect the mindset of a fighter thinking, oh, what do I have to do now in order to convince the judges to score the round for me? So that's where I'm split about live scoring and announcing it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's a possibility. But before I say anything about the judging, I thought, just talking about how the fight went, did you rewatch it at all?
I did not get a chance to rewatch it, but once I do, I'm gonna rewatch it with no sound. I want to see how it goes without commentary, just to get my own opinion, and then I'll be able to make a clear-cut decision on that.
Okay, because I did rewatch. I only rewatched the second and third round yesterday, and I should have watched it without sound. Actually, I didn't think about that till afterwards. But so I think it was pretty clear that Reyes won the first round and Jones won the fourth and fifth. Now, I know initially watching with the second round, I had Jones winning very slightly, just because it seemed like he was, even though I think Reyes came out pretty strong in the fight, in the round, I think Jones was dictating the pace a little more. Oddly enough, like I thought, it seems like the third round is the controversial one, the closest one, from what people are saying. Maybe I'm wrong, but personally, I thought the second round was harder to score, only because,
Was the
like,
second round where he kicked him right in the face, where he took that kick pretty well?
no, I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
No, no, because there wasn't
But
any. It was very close. There wasn't much that stood out. Um, but it just seemed like Jones was
the
staying a little
striking
busy because Reyes, Reyes was throwing a lot in the second, but he also missed a lot.
right.
I feel like Jones connected more with what he was throwing in the second round.
But the striking
Um,
numbers, if you compare how much strikes were landed, Reyes won
I
from
think
round
he won.
3.
Yeah, as far as I think the second round he maybe landed like six more. I think something like that. It wasn't that big of a margin. The thing is, like, all right, so I give the slight um, advantage to Jones in the second round. Third round, I actually thought, as I was watching the fight, I did think it was really close, but I actually thought when I rewatched it that Reyes um, actually won that round. I wouldn't say like clearly, but I think he showed more. He was connecting more. The weird part about it, and this goes the same for the second round too, is that um, Jones was pressuring. It was in his face. I mean, Reyes was too at the very beginning, but for the most part of the fight, Jones was in his face. Well, not in his face, but dictating the fight. Reyes was more backing up a little, and that alone may have, could sway the judges into thinking like, oh, Jones is in control. But meanwhile, in the third round, Reyes was actually hitting him with more shots as he was moving back. Um, so I gave that to Reyes. Um, now, where was I getting at? I don't think it was a robbery by any means. I really don't understand how people say it's a robbery. I mean, yeah, that 49-46 score is ridiculous. There's
That's
no
the
way.
robbery right there.
Yeah, that itself is, but the fight was not a robbery. I mean, either one, had it been just 47s for Jones across the board, then people, I don't think it would be quite as big of a deal. Um, Although it was still a close fight, could have gone to either guy. I wouldn't have been mad with either one winning.
I think
Um,
this fight was a lot more closer than when Jones fought Gustafsson for the first time.
yeah, yeah, me too. Um, yeah, Reyes was. He hit him with a lot of shot. I mean, Jones was taking punches. I mean, he took some hard punches, and he was barely phased by it. He kept the pace going. His cardio looked good, as did Reyes. Although Reyes, like you said, he seemed to fade towards the later rounds. Um, when he was getting taken down, he did pretty much pop right back up where he was good defensively. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, along with some leg kicks and body shots by Reyes, um, I think Jones just showed like a little more, especially towards the end. Um, yeah, that got him the win. But like I said, it could have gone either way. Now, as far as the judging, I do like, I do like the open score idea. It'd be cool to just change it up a bit. Would kind of like it's a sexy change to the sport. Um, but I also don't think it's necessary. Um, I think what they have to do more than anything is just there has to be something done about the judges. Like they've got to be educated more. Maybe give them some kind of clear look on what the criteria should be. Maybe something such as octagon control or certain strikes or leg kick. I don't know. Maybe something should be seen as something more important, over the other, just to make it clear. I mean, that, or just or just be more consistent. I mean, I know it's not up to the UFC. This is totally a commission thing, but
Well, that whole night was pretty weird with that one judge just scoring all over the place. And at one fight, Joe Rogan made a comment. There's one judge not even paying attention to the fight.
yeah,
He's looking
I
down
heard
on
that.
his phone, and the
Ridiculous.
Houston Athletic Commission said, "Oh yeah, there's a TV on the floor where they're watching." There is no way there's a TV. Even Michael
Doesn't
Bisping
matter.
confirmed that. He said there is no TV. From the amount of commentary he was doing, he did not see a TV monitor on the floor. So it just blows my mind how you're sitting there and not paying attention to a fight, and then you're scoring it and you're risking someone else's career, you know. And I was listening also to Ariel's podcast. He was interviewing the California Commission, and he said that the judges get paid $1,900 a night to um to judge, and the refs get, I'm sorry, 1,600, and the refs get paid 1,900. So I don't know if it's money lack there that
So you shouldn't
maybe they're.
even. That shouldn't even matter. I mean, this is your job.
But I
It
do
doesn't matter how much
think
you're getting paid. You should do it right.
maybe instead of having these judges, these people judge the fight, maybe they should have professional referees be the judge and actually score the fight. They're more experienced. They know what's
Yeah.
going on in the fight. Maybe have retired fighters that are not associated with the fighters that are competing, so there's no bias scoring. So that's my opinion about judging. Maybe change it up. Get some actual people that know the sport to judge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, these bad decisions, they'll never stop. I mean, only because we see, so like in boxing. Although in boxing, sometimes
Well,
you
that's
could say
worse.
it could be like a pretty corrupt game. So you think maybe that comes into play for that. But I mean, boxing's been around, like, compared to MMA, it's been around forever at this point. Um, and they still have terrible decisions by judges who have been around a while. So I mean, these bad decisions, they're going to happen. Um, but yeah, you have to do something to get these, and you shouldn't be having these judges too who are so used to only maybe seeing boxing, or it should be very specific to MMA. They shouldn't share judging. Um, it's scored totally different. Um, I know it's a 10-point scoring system. I mean, even that could change, but I still don't think that's necessary. I think the most important thing is just get the right people behind this. Um, Now, yeah, and as far as that judge is looking down at his phone, these judges shouldn't even be allowed to have their phones with them, like when they're out there. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, I know they're not getting paid nearly as much, but it's like a doctor or an open heart surgeon, like, bringing his phone in there while he's doing his job. This is what you're being paid to do. You should be giving 110% attention to that. Doesn't matter what's going on, as long as the fight is going on, there's action. You should be all eyes on the fight. So yeah, it's a little ridiculous. It's very
And,
ridiculous.
and and one more thing, I hate the part where they say you have to beat the champ in order to be the champ, or if it's a close round, we're gonna give it to the champ because he didn't do enough. I don't really like that term. It shouldn't even be part of it. It's either you won the round or you did not, regardless if you're the champion or not. Just because you're the champion, you should not be favored. And I
Yeah,
feel like that happens pretty much most of the time when these judges are scoring. It's a close round and they'll favor the champ just because you know he has the title and this guy is just trying to take it from him. But
yeah.
unfortunately, yeah.
As far as the judging and officiating is concerned, there should be, once they're in there and the fight starts, there should be no such thing as champion and challenger. There's just two fighters.
Mhm.
It shouldn't matter. That belt, like, the belt is up for grabs it's like it's like a wrestling match with the title up. It's like a ladder match. It's dangling above the. Maybe at this point we should almost do something like that just to make things more fair. So like there shouldn't be. That's ridiculous. So, did he do enough to beat the champion? It doesn't make any sense. Everybody is equal. It doesn't matter if it's you against John Jones. If you're doing better and you're scoring more, you're doing just enough to win the fight. Just because you're a nobody and he's the champion, he's been the champion for nearly a decade, doesn't mean that he should get some sort of advantage. So yeah, hopefully, and I know that I think it was Kansas just started. They announced. I don't know if it's because of this, but they started. The commission there said that they're going to start doing open score fighting. Like it's going to be an option, and I think Invicta is going to be there. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I heard it's a possibility. I don't know if it's just an option they're offering if the promotion chooses to do it. So if one state's already doing it and they're offering it, then maybe that will be the case. And like I said, that it'd be nice to see something a little different. And the only thing that concerns me about that is just it's not so much that one fighter would play it safe, because I think what would happen, what should happen, is let's say one fighter is up 2 rounds in a 3-round fight. Let's say they're dominating the fight, and then the 3rd round they choose to just try to coast, kind of run away, just play keep away the whole time, just so they don't get finished. Then I would hope that the officiating, the referees, would be right on top of that, and make sure the action keeps going, because at that point, especially, they're not stupid. They know that the fighter, is going to want to secure a win by that point. So hopefully that would happen. That would happen as well. And I also would hope that if that did happen, if the open scoring happened, that let's say a judge gives a terrible score on a round. Well, you know what? If they're going to do that, they definitely shouldn't. They shouldn't announce or show which judge gave the score until after the fight. Because at that point, because then anyone near the judge who knows, someone in the crowd could be shouting something out. Anything that could sway them. Honestly, I almost think they should have actually, I don't know. Do you know if they have headphones on or anything? While they're watching? Are they watching? Do they have a monitor and they have headphones on?
No, I don't think they have headphones. Based on what I've seen, they're just watching it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I would hope they're not listening to the commentary either, because that shouldn't. That would actually be a big deal.
Yeah, you can't
don't think
listen to the commentary, but also I feel like the crowd's reaction too
Yeah.
could. I don't know if it really plays into effect to the judges.
It's
You could
almost like they should have noise canceling headphones on and just play some music or something, or just
there was a head kick that Reyes threw, but Jones blocked it, and everyone went nuts. They thought he landed completely, and then there was another head kick that he did landed into his jaw, which landed completely, and everyone was shouting out. So it's Joe Rogan. I think it was Joe Rogan that mentioned it. Maybe the judges should be put in separate rooms away from the live action and watch the fight there.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, without even any
Without commentary.
without any sound at all. Just be by themselves on their own. Yeah,
And they
I
have
think if they're
someone
gonna do
watching, making sure they're watching too.
Right. Yeah, someone who would, they probably give their scorecard to after the round too. Yeah, so who knows? I mean, but something's definitely got to be done. I mean, there was also the like you said, there were a couple fights. The Kraus fight, where the first round, that same judge who gave 49-46 to Jones, gave the round to
Giles, I believe.
Giles, yeah, Trevor Giles, um, against Kraus in that first round, where Kraus had Giles back for I think like 4 minutes, 4 of the 5 minutes. Like how do you give Giles that round? How? Like that makes no sense at all. I mean, like I understand like maybe places like Texas, don't get as much action in the MMA, but I don't know. You would hope then that for places like that, places outside of Vegas or California, um, New York, I guess, these markets that get the fights more often, you would think these other um, smaller commissions or not as known commissions for MMA would hopefully like use some of the guys who are used to seeing these fights more often, just to get the experience in there. Yeah, and if anything, hopefully there's some kind of almost like a farm system for judges and smaller promotions who can get their experience there and then work their way up just like fighters do. If you can show hopefully someone's watching over them to see if they can step up to the big leagues like UFC or Bellator, and be a little more involved in the
Well,
bigger fights.
that's what they're doing. If you wanted to be a judge, you have to start off with the amateur fights. Then you have to work. Yeah, I believe it's like 100 fights you have to work of amateur, and then you build up to small shows. You file an application, and then if the commission likes what they see from you, they'll give you a call, and you start off small in one of those shows, and you work your way up and hit the big leagues.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, hopefully they got a good system in place, and hopefully there's some kind of change. So, all right. So moving on, we'll go into the co-main event. We had Valentina Shevchenko defending her flyweight title against Caitlin Chukagian. She took out Chukagian in round 3 with TKO on the ground. It's actually, no surprise here really. Got her down, got her in a crucifix position.
Mm.
Pretty much dominated the fight. What'd you think of it?
I mean, from the beginning of the fight, it was just all Shevchenko. She cut her in the first round. She picked her apart, took her down, and then she took her will basically. Third round, she put her in a crucifix and just finished the fight. I mean, with Chikagian, I think what she should have done was have Valentina approach her and counter, but I think Chikagian rushed it too much, and it was just sloppy. After the first round, I think her confidence went down. As far as Valentina, I mean, who's next? I mean, maybe Joanne Calderwood. She's gonna clean out the division pretty quick. I think this year I think she needs to defend the title 2 more times, and then hopefully we get the Amanda Nunes fight. That's the fight that really does make sense. Even though she lost to her twice, the second one was, it was. I think Valentina won the second fight, so I think they should run it back for the third time. Valentina wins. Hey, let's do a fourth one. At this point, let them keep fighting each other to really determine who the number one woman is.
Yeah, Chukagian. I mean, she basically did what what we figured, like what we said in our prediction. We thought would happen. Anything she was landing, wasn't much power, very much, very much striking for points. Like you said, yeah, she should have just let the fight come to her. Thing is, though, I still don't think it would have made a difference. I mean, Valentina was still being aggressive. She's very calculated. Her striking was just top notch. Um, And yeah, I mean, ultimately just getting her to the ground, and that crucifix was awesome. Um,
And that
so,
spinning kick was amazing by
oh my God,
Valentina.
yeah, I can't believe Chukagian actually took that. Like,
Yeah, I give
that's
her
something
that.
like that would have knocked out like
Yeah,
a lot of women.
and we thought
But
her
yeah,
tooth fell out too.
yeah,
Looked
yeah.
like it.
I mean, honestly, it didn't. It barely even seemed to phase her, as hard as that sounded. I guess it's just the way where it landed. Um, but yeah, as far as what she does next, I mean, yeah, I guess I guess a join Calder would make sense. Um, hey, maybe even maybe even to give like Roxanne Modafferi a shot.
I
Um,
think Roxanne should fight Lauren Murphy, and that'll determine the next number one contender
yeah,
from there.
yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
it
you
looks
got
like it.
Maya, who's there,
Maya
but
too.
if
Yeah,
she could make weight,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's another option. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, might as well just let Valentina totally clean out the division. Obviously, I would like to see her and Amanda Nunes like again, because like you said, that second fight, like yeah, you could definitely argue that Valentina won that. I thought she won too, as well. And but yeah, I still think you can wait on it just a little bit. Um, as much as I like to see it, um, let Valentina clean out the division, be on top for say the rest of the year, and maybe next year revisit that, if they're both on top, which I would predict both of them are. I mean, there's really not much competition for either one, um, right now, so I think it would have to lead to a third fight. Um, all right, so all right, next fight. I don't know if
Versad
I
Bektic.
predicted Bektik and Dan Ige. Ige gets the nod in a split decision. Um, close fight, good fight. Um, I think I think the judges got it right this time. Um, it was basically came down to Bektik's wrestling and Ige, all around really, really good, but his striking was really well. What did you think of the fight?
That was a really good fight. I think that was fight of the night right there. It was back and forth. Bektic had his moments. He almost had that arm triangle locked in.
Yeah,
Ige was able to scramble out. His striking was on point. Grappling game was good. His defense was really, really good.
mm-hmm.
I think Ige is growing, and I'm looking forward to see what's next for him. Maybe a fight with Shane Burgos could be a good option. He's on the streak too,
Yep.
and I mean he's on his way to the top 15. He's got some good growth going. So I know he called out the Korean Zombie, but
Yeah.
that's too early for him
That's a
at
huge
this
step up.
point.
Yeah, that is
That,
a
that
huge step up.
that's a big step, but I think he needs to take his time, build
Yeah,
up, and maybe two fights, and then I guess you could crack the top 10 from there.
yeah, yeah. No need to rush him. I mean, he's definitely looking like he does belong in the top 15 and fighting the top some uh, some higher ups, in the division. But yeah, I mean, calling out Korean Zombie. I mean, I think just too way too fast for him. He might as well just keep his streak going. Slowly work his way. There's no rush. But yeah, he showed. It was a good fight. Um, as we expected, it would be a close one to call. But ultimately, he did more than Bektik. Um, the last fight, we predicted was Black Beast Derek Lewis and Alir Latifi, the heavyweight division. Derek Lewis gets a unanimous decision win, 29-28 across the board. What do you think of that fight?
That was a really good fight, and I did not expect to see a flying knee by Derek Lewis. Once again, he was able to survive the takedowns, and made me think with Latifi. I think heavyweight's perfect for him.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
he was at 205 getting knocked out. I think the key was for him to move up. I
Hmm.
thought he was too small for 205. I thought he should have went to middleweight, but this guy went on the scale, weighed in at 246. Almost, he pretty much looked like a version of Daniel Cormier in a way. Um, but yeah, he held his own. He had some good takedowns. He was able to take some shots from Derek Lewis, but at the end of the day, Derek Lewis was too much. Um, but I wonder, do you think Derek Lewis got the home advantage there with the decision? I mean, I heard some people say Derek Latifi looked like he won, but I think Lewis won the fight. He landed more strikes. He was able to control him. What do you think?
Yeah. Um, yeah. No, I think the judges got it right. I do think it was 1-1 going in the third, and then Derek Lewis just pretty much turned it up in the third round. Yeah, those flying knees were crazy. I mean, very unexpected. The whole fight was unexpected. That we both thought Derek Lewis would have a fairly easy going with Latifi. But yeah, Latifi, he said he actually looked pretty good for a guy, and he didn't look necessarily overweight or out of shape. I mean, sure, he was bigger. He wasn't. You couldn't see every muscle on him, but he's a stocky guy. Um, like you mentioned DC at heavyweight, especially the last couple of fights. I mean, he kind of had like a big belly going on. Um, whereas Latifi, he didn't really have as much of a belly. I mean, he definitely had fat on him, but yeah, he didn't look like out of shape or anything by any means. Um, yeah, he took those flying knees. He took some strikes. Like you said, yeah, that weight cut must probably takes a good amount out of him,
Mm-hmm.
considering yeah, if he was taking shots like that at light heavyweight, he would have been out and done easily. Um, but yeah, he was impressive. Even got a takedown or two. I
A
don't know if he
few.
scored. Yeah, a few of them, right? Um, which was which was a good game plan if you were gonna if you're gonna beat Derek Lewis. Um, that's the way to do it. Get him on the ground. You couldn't keep him there, and ultimately win the fight that way. But um, yeah, actually, maybe he should keep it going at heavyweight a little and just see where it goes. It was a close enough fight, so I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. And
Right.
yeah, but I do think Derek Lewis. I do think the judges got it right, and Derek Lewis faithfully was the winner.
So hopefully, if Derek Lewis is healthy, he did say he has some issue he needs to take care of. He said it's life situation.
Yeah, I wonder what that's
Uh,
about.
yeah, I don't know what that is all about, but I hope he gets back. And maybe the next fight for him could be Curtis Blades, and that could determine
It'd be a good
pretty
one.
much
It
who's
would make a
next.
lot of sense. Yeah, yeah, it would make a lot of sense. I mean, at this point, I mean, Curtis Blades is most likely going to have to wait for a title shot. Um, I can't imagine them not being able to put together DC and Stipe. I think you know I think they need to make that happen. I don't think they're going to run out of time. So yeah, I think Curtis Blades is going to have to wait. So why not? Why not do Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis? Um, makes all the sense. Maybe even I mean I don't know when did he say when he was going to do this procedure, Derek Lewis?
He said he's gonna go to the doctor sometime, either this week or next week, and they'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Even the
So
UFC knows about this, so
yeah,
it
I mean
must
who
be
knows?
something.
Right. Yeah. Who knows? Exactly. I think it was mentioned to him on Ariel's show too. Like if someone falls out of the Ngannou Rosenstrike fight, would he be willing to step up? Um, I don't know if that goes against whatever he has scheduled. So, but yeah, definitely on the right track though. And in the heavyweight division, you can at this point, when you're among those top few fighters, you can get your way to a title shot pretty quick.
Right.
All right, so now we'll just do a little bit of predictions for the UFC card. A couple of the fights, the co-main and main event of the UFC on ESPN Plus, Corey Anderson and Jan Blachowicz fight card. And let's start with the co-main event. We got a welterweight fight between Michel Pereira and Diego Sanchez. How do you think that's going to go down?
Well, Diego Sanchez is a warrior. He always comes out and fights.
Fighting in New Mexico.
Yeah. I think that will add some motivation to him. I believe Diego is on a 2-fight losing streak, if I'm correct. So I don't know. I mean,
was his last loss against? Was it against
Chiesa, I believe.
Chiesa, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on a 2-fight.
One fight.
Yeah, might just be a good, which
yeah.
Isn't a bad fight to to have a loss against, because Chiesa obviously he's looking really good. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It's hard. I mean, I like Diego Sanchez. I really hope he could pull this one out. I don't know. I'll go with the upset. I'll pick Diego, 3rd round submission.
All right, yeah, it's definitely a tough fight to pick. Yeah, I like Diego Sanchez too. I mean, as a fighter, he's entertaining as hell. If you're a big MMA fan, I mean, how do you not love Diego Sanchez? The guy's got so much passion for what he's doing and energy. He's almost kind of out of his mind in the best way. But yeah, I mean, it could definitely go either way. Michel Pereira has some good knockout power. Diego could, he could choose to grapple with him. He could get in a war with him and just swing. Like I said, it could go either way. I'm actually gonna go with Michel Pereira. And, it's tough. Yeah, I'll go Michel Pereira by decision. Close fight. All right, now the main event of Corey Anderson and Jan Blachowicz in the light heavyweight division. Big fight for them in the division, really, because. So going back to what we were talking about earlier, this could, all right. First, let me start with this. If you had to ask me what I wanted next for John Jones in the heavyweight title, I definitely think they should do a rematch with Reyes. I think him and Reyes should rematch immediately, as soon as they can. Now, in the main event here, you have Corey Anderson and Blachowicz fighting for, before last weekend. A lot of people thought the winner of the fight would get the next title shot. I mean, it's still possible if the UFC wants to go that route. The only thing is, I would imagine the winner would have to do something amazing and like something very very noticeable. Probably finish the fight pretty quick to get noticed, and then maybe have a decent call out of John Jones afterwards. But how do you see it going down?
Well, back to what you were saying, who deserves to fight John Jones next? I definitely think Dominic Reyes should get the rematch. there was some speculation about he might have a torn ACL that could, sideline him, put him in the sidelines for a while. But he said he's good. He doesn't think he has a torn ACL. But in this fight, you're right. It depends whoever wins and what kind of and what style they'll win. If it's gonna be a explosive knockout, yeah, you got to give it to them. If it's gonna be a crazy back and forth fight, 5 to 9 action, yeah, I think they might as well give them that title shot. You have Corey Anderson, who was on the 4-fight win streak. You have Blachowicz on a 2-fight win streak. Blachowicz beat Rockhold and Jacare. Now you can make a case saying, all right, he beat these two former middleweights, moving up to light heavyweight. So and he's 8-5 in the UFC. A little bit, he had some inconsistency and finally got it together. You have Anderson, who had an impressive TKO win over Johnny Walker, a high prospect of the UFC. Many thought Walker was gonna run through Corey Anderson, but Anderson he shocked everybody with that win. And there is history of Corey Anderson and John Jones. Corey Anderson has been calling him out for quite some time. The way I see this fight playing out, I see Corey Anderson using his wrestling, taking Blachowicz down and smothering him. I'm gonna say Anderson by 4th round TKO is gonna be able to stop him. He's gonna get him tired and he'll catch him from there.
Yeah.
So
I pretty much actually, yeah, I agree. I think Anderson's wrestling is going to be the difference maker. I do see him finishing a TKO. I was going to say 3rd round though. Now, the thing is though, now whoever wins, no matter how it happens. Well, all right, let me put it this way: if Blachowicz wins. Blachowicz wins. I think in order for him to get the next title shot, which I think it'd be more likely Anderson gets it than him, if depending on who wins. But if he wins, I think he would have to be extremely impressive. Probably end the fight pretty fast, with a knockout, something spectacular, pretty much. I think that's his best bet. I definitely don't think a close fight, close decision, even maybe a unanimous decision. I mean, unless he totally dominates him and the fight comes close to being stopped at multiple times, maybe, which it's hard to imagine, maybe Blachowicz can get it that way. But I see more so if Corey Anderson wins, he'd be more likely to get a shot. Again, if he is very dominant, uses his wrestling, but also I think him ending the fight early, if he's able to knock him out, which I mean, for a while, Anderson was known as like kind of boring, just mainly a wrestler. Lately, though, it's like he's got some hands. His striking is really shown up. I mean, that last fight against Johnny
Walker.
Johnny Walker, really showed something. Like he was hyped up to use his hands and get the win. And I think both these guys know, especially after this past weekend, that they need to do something. They need to do something big in order to get a title shot.
Well, this could play out. This is what I could see play out. You do Jones and Reyes rematch. The winner of Anderson Blachowicz maybe fights Thiago Santos when he comes back. Winner of that fight fights for the number 1 contender. Or you have Glover Teixeira and Anthony Smith fighting in April. Whoever wins that fights the winner of this fight. That way you set up a true number 1 contender if you're going to do the rematch with Reyes. But if you're not, then yes, this fight right here is the number one contender fight.
Yeah,
We'll fight
yeah,
Jones.
that's not a bad idea. I mean, if there's going to be that much time in between, that's probably the way to go. Um, I mean, I honestly think, unfortunately for these guys, in my opinion, if Reyes is ready to go, I think that's the thing you got to do first. I think a rematch is it would be the top thing you do, no matter how this fight goes between Anderson and Blachowicz.
Yeah. And for Anderson, this is a great opportunity. You win this fight, you might have a chance to follow the blueprint of what Reyes, Santos put together. I mean, if you look at Jones's last three fights against Anthony Smith, yeah, he beat Anthony Smith, but it wasn't all impressive. He didn't put him away. Thiago Santos, that was a split decision fight. He brought the fight to him. And then Dominic Reyes, who everyone pretty much says he won the fight. So these last three fights of John Jones, Israel Adesanya even said, looks like his Jones' time is coming and someone might be able to finally win.
Yeah, you can argue he's getting closer and closer to a loss as time has gone on.
Unless Jones is doing this thing where he's making it seem like, oh, maybe they're for people to tune in and think, wow, maybe this guy could actually beat him. Maybe this is all a ploy of John Jones of, I don't know, maybe he's having like that Anderson Silva symptom of this is getting too easy for me, so I'm just gonna take it easy.
Maybe he's letting it. Yeah, maybe he's letting almost. I mean, I still don't think it's the smartest thing. I mean, look what happened to Anderson.
Yeah,
Anderson was a little more showy about it, but yeah, I mean, I hope he wouldn't be doing that just because. I don't think it's that smart. But at the same time, maybe something like this almost kind of works as some extra motivation for him. I think when he wins a fight like he did this past Saturday, you could tell he's very grateful. And at the end of the fight, he was praising Reyes for giving a great fight, being a very worthy opponent. So it's almost like, and we saw the way he he really came alive and took control of the fourth and fifth round. So yeah, you never know. Maybe he kind of he welcomes the challenge into getting beat up a little bit and then rising back towards the end of the fights, being resilient. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully though, we do get to see that rematch sooner rather than later, and yeah, it'll be the build up for that would be awesome. It'd be like,
yep.
I mean, any John Jones fight is big, but yeah, now that
everyone knows who Dominic Reyes is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Reyes was basically, even being undefeated, he was basically an unknown to a lot of people, definitely casual fans. So now that people know who he is, I mean, now this is going to be like an even bigger, one of the bigger John Jones fights I think ever. So
Right.
yeah, it could potentially be really fun. All right, so that's it for today. Hope everybody watched, enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the fights. We'll see you guys next time.